Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something every single nurse uses every single shift, whether they realize it or not: leadership. We're going to trace it all the way from these kind of old school theories to the real practical styles you can use right at the bedside. The goal? To help you be more effective no matter what gets thrown at you. So, let's just jump right in. Picture it. A code blue is called. Suddenly, the room is just flooded with people. Alarms are blaring. Your patient is crashing. It's chaos. In that moment, who do you need running the show? Someone who wants to collaborate and ask for ideas, or a commander who gives clear, direct orders? The answer to that question is really the heart of what we're talking about today. But before we can answer, we've got to be on the same page. So what even is leadership? Well, at its core, it's simply the art of motivating a group of people to work together towards a common goal. It's not about a fancy title. It's all about influence, and more importantly, action. And here's a super simple way to remember that. The 3 Ps. You've got the person, that's the leader. You've got the people, that's your team. And you have the purpose, that's the common goal you're all working towards. For leadership to actually happen, you absolutely need all 3. Okay, so to really understand leadership today, we have to take a quick trip back in time to see where all these ideas came from. Let's look at the old school theories that kind of laid the foundation for everything that came after. So way back when, you had theories like the great man theory, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It assumed that great leaders were just born that way, usually noblemen. A little later, you get the charismatic theory, which said leaders have this special, almost magical, inspirational quality. You can see the pattern, right? Both of these theories put all the focus on the leader being some kind of unique, born-that-way individual. Then, people tried to get a bit more scientific about it with something called trait theory. They searched for a universal checklist of traits, like, are all leaders confident? Are they all good speakers? But you know what they found? There isn't one. No single list of traits could actually predict who would be a great leader. The puzzle was a lot more complicated than that. And that realization led to this huge shift in thinking. People started to understand that the old theories were missing something big. It wasn't just about the leader's innate qualities anymore. Suddenly, it was about the situation, the team, the whole environment. This is where a real game changer comes in: situational theory. The idea is so simple, but it's also profound. The best leadership style totally depends on the situation you're in. A great leader has to be able to adapt their approach based on what they're doing and, crucially, who they're doing it with. And building on that, we get to transformational theory. Now, this isn't just about getting the job done. This is about inspiring your team, empowering them to think for themselves, and actually developing them into future leaders. It's the kind of leadership that creates more leaders. All right, enough with the theory, right? Let's get practical. Let's talk about what you can actually use. Think of what's coming next as your personal leadership toolkit. 3 core styles you can pull out depending on what's happening around you. So here's a quick look at the fundamental trade-offs between those 3 styles: autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. You can see right away how each one balances things like control, efficiency, and the kind of work you get done. Let's break them down, one by one. First up, we have the autocratic leader. You can just call this one the commander. It's totally top-down. The leader makes the decisions, the leader gives the orders, and that's that. The chain of command is crystal clear. Now, this style gets a really bad rap sometimes, but it has its place. In a crisis, like that code blue we were talking about, it's incredibly efficient. There's no time to debate. It's also great for giving clear direction to new staff. The big downside? Use it too much and it'll absolutely crush creativity and motivation. Next up is the democratic style, or the collaborator. With this one, the leader is more of a guide, sharing the planning and decision-making with the whole team. It's all about participation and getting everybody involved. The biggest win for the democratic style? It seriously boosts motivation and gets people invested. And hey, with more brains on a problem, you often get higher quality decisions. The trade-off, of course, is speed. This process can be really slow, which is definitely not what you want when the clock is ticking. And finally, we have the laissez-faire style. It's French for let them do, and that's pretty much the whole philosophy. It's a completely hands-off approach. The leader does very little planning and leaves pretty much all the decisions up to the team. This style can work, but, and this is a huge but, it only works in very specific situations. Like if you have a team of super experienced, self-motivated experts who just need to be left alone. For most teams, though, it's a recipe for confusion, frustration, and just plain disorganization. People feel lost without any goals or guidance. Okay, so we have our theories, we have our 3 core styles in our toolkit. How do we actually put this all together? Well, it all comes down to one thing: being an adaptive leader. And that brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. If you remember just one thing, make it this: there is no one best leadership style, period. The most effective leaders are adaptive. They have all 3 of these styles ready to go, and they have the wisdom to know which one to pull out at just the right moment. So, how do you choose? It's pretty simple, actually. You ask yourself 4 quick questions. First, what's the nature of the work? Is this a full-blown emergency or just routine planning? Second, what are your staff's skills? Are these seasoned pros or brand new grads who need guidance? Third, how much time do you have? Minutes or days? And finally, what are the stakes? Your answers are going to point you to exactly the right style for that moment. Look, every nurse is a leader. It doesn't matter if you're the unit manager or a new grad guiding a patient's family through a tough conversation. So the real question isn't what kind of leader you are, it's what kind of leader you will choose to be in the moments that count. So, on your next shift, what will you choose?